is it through the... Oh, it's in the swamp. It's in the swamp. You're at a different truck? We're near Blackfell. We're up near Blackfell. So what do we have to do? Is it working? Is it happening? Are we winning?
Oh, hi. Sorry, there's an extra delay. I apologize. My wife called me the second I was about to pop on. She decided to give me a ring, so I had to make sure I answered. Hi, friends. Is this a support group for allergies? Amber, it can be. Do you want it to be? It can be. We can be the allergy support group. No, I told her to make sure to let me know. How we doing, friends? What's up, Hailed? Milk, welcome in. What's up, Mortal? Sparkle, hi, friend. What's up, Crow? Ben, what's up, Cedar? Corrupt, thank you for the 5 months. Early stream? What do you mean early stream? I don't stream on Thursdays. Listen, I don't stream on Thursdays, but the fact of the matter is my fam is going to see other fam. So they left earlier today. I have tonight. And then I leave tomorrow to meet up with the stream friendos. Why did I not go? Because I can't take too much extra time off. Yeah. So there was a really good timing compromise there where I could go and see Chinggis and Dahlia and Evie and Bibbers and Coach and all the peeps. So it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. So I figured, I can't be live tomorrow, obviously. I can't be live Sunday. It's like, well, hell, I'll go live tonight. Miss, welcome in. How are you? What up, Jay? So here we are. We didn't get to do any Phasmos yesterday, so I figured we would do some today. And this is also early, correct? Because I already had Din Din, so I figured why not? Why not? We're here. Why not? What up, Banana? All right. Yeah, we should be good enough, I'd say so. Your computer crashed. Oh, no. It's morning time for you. Oh, good morning. Made a cheeseburger. Happy cheeseburger. Technically, it's still early. You don't usually stream at the time. That's true. Yeah. Fair play. Good point. Hi, Paranormal. How are you? Yeah. Cyber, thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months. Hello. What's up, little? Blue screen. Oh, no. Well, I hope it updates okay. Get a new chair? I did. Yeah, I was using the same Secret Lab chair for the past 3.5 years. Yeah. Draw a spirit or a shade? A shade. And disrespect them. Hi, Rayla. How are you? For me, it is currently 6:22. I'm Eastern time. What up, Total? Actually, Crow, that's what I had tonight. Because damn hell if I'm going to cook anything and make dishes for myself. I already cleaned the kitchen. I'm not about to do it again. Pinnacle, thank you for the prime. It's like, we already wiped it down. I'm not about to do it again. I ain't about to do it again. It is officially August. This is true. Yeah. Cyber, thank you for gifting a sub. You failed your driver's test? Have you thought about not failing it? That sounds way better. All right, let's get Phasmo going. We need to get our leveling going because I'm pretty sure I still have some tier 1 stuff that we need to get the hell away from. So let's do it. The temp change in house when the power is on. Is it the same thing in outside map? Well, no, it's going to be different. It's going to be different because the temperature is not going to warm up the rooms outside like it does inside of the house. Yeah. Mel, thank you so much for the prime. And Elizabeth, thank you for the 10 months. You may have gotten your license without a driving test thanks to COVID. I don't think you should admit to that. Hey, Legend. Had a wonderful day today. Oh, Cyber, I appreciate that, friend. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Is it common for 2 rooms to be super cold? If the ghost is roaming between the 2 rooms, yeah. For sure. Yeah. Quiet splat. Checks time. Ben, I'm going to try to in a different, per your guys' view, it's going to be the same, but I'm going to try to do it this other way for my end and make sure everything works. One of my PC specs, do exclamation point specs. That should work. That should work. What are we, 45? Let's see what tier 1 stuff we still have.
Others out there in need of help.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, we still have some tier 1 stuff. We need to get rid of it. Get it out. Yeah, I'm going to try. It should just seamlessly work. So, Atom released their multi-stream plugin today. Now, unfortunately, I need to talk to TikTok about it. I want to try to get my stream key back to try to multi-stream through this. I want to test this plugin to its max capacity. Now, to do that, though, I need my stream key back because I had one. I just didn't use, because I used Live Studio all the time on TikTok because you would get pushed more. You would get pushed more. It sucks, but that's just the way that it was. You would get pushed more on TikTok if you were using the Live Studio, but it eats so much resources. So much. Hi, Queen. Apocrypha, hello. But we're going to warm up on Nightmare, and then we'll go from there per the usual. What up, Star? Welcome back. All right, I think we're good. Opening Twitch to make sure my notifications were on. Oh, I appreciate you, Ghost. Yeah, I wouldn't even, I mean, obviously I'm not supposed to be live today, but you know, we're here. I don't know how long I'll be live for. No clue. I have not. Speaking of, no. Thank you, Amber. No, I know a lot of peeps that use Ryzen. Yeah, I know a lot of peeps that use Ryzen. Hi, Vin. Vin, how was the game yesterday? I didn't get a chance to ask you or Mayor how Death Watchers was after yesterday since the updates and stuff. I feel confused. Are you usually... No, not at all, Queen. No, I'm not. We're going to do a nice cozy. That's what we're going to do. Got a Ryzen laptop. There you go. A little buggy, but it was fun. Yeah, that sounds about right. Got to catch Dahlia stream last night. I bet y'all so much fun this weekend. Yeah, I'm excited. Willers! How are you, Shade? What up, love? All right, I'm going to try this way. Hopefully, I just press the button and the things work. I haven't tested this yet, so that's the way it should work. I just need to come up with like a generic message for our title for YouTube so I don't have to change the title every time. Yeah. You know what I mean? The follow age and the other commands were basically removed. They were just very spammy. Yeah. But if you click on your name inside of chat, as long as you're not on mobile, if you're on desktop, you can see how long you were following for. Was bored all day. Well, I'm sorry, friend. All right, let's see what happens when I do these things. Well, that worked pretty seamlessly. What's up, Izu? Johnny, thank you for the tier 1. That worked. By golly, Jim. All right. I had it set up. It's linked. All that jazz. First, Fate, you won. You're the wiener. Vertical. Hey, Spring, welcome in. How are you? All right. Let me get this, and then we'll be ready to rock. What up, Hewitt? How are you? What up, Guinea? Welcome back. Mayor, how was Death Watchers? Vin was giving his take on it. What do you think? You told me before you played, but how do you feel after? Hi, Kona. How do you feel after? Damn, now I got wrecked. Wait, how'd you get wrecked? What happened? Oh, get wrecked, nerd. Oh, okay. Hey, Slayer. Who's all playing? Just me. Oh, you were sick? I'm sorry, Guinea. I hope you feel better. Has a ton of promise, though. It does. I think there's some things that I still am not the biggest fan of. Bringing your equipment back to the truck or whatever the hell. Bringing your equipment back to the tables and stuff. I'm still not a... I really don't like that. But I was told, word on the street was that you might be given like a box to put all your equipment in and then like carry the box and then you can bring it back. I don't know. I still feel weird about that part, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. It is what it is. It is what it is. Do they allow loud laughing in Hawaii or just aloha? I'm going to tell Glay, and Glay's going to come yell at you. Somebody get me Glay. Somebody get me Glay. He's going to be livid. He's going to be so pissed. Glay! He's probably working. Hi, Immortal. Okay, I'm ready to rock. All right, we're going to start off with a nice, comfy nightmare at Willer Street. I need to get out of tier 1. We need to get the hell out of tier 1. Let's rock. Let's rock. Oh, the jambalaya signal. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. We totally could do that. All right, let's do the thing. What up, Switch? Thomas Anderson, crucifix, motion sensor, and escape. Roger that. Let's rock. Gur indeed. What's up, Lenny? It's my favorite horror game. I mean, I guess it depends on where we're looking in the genre. I mean, Phasmophobia is probably going to be my favorite horror game. Yeah. Yeah. You're trying to guess the ghost? Oh, okay. Do your thing, Chicken Wing. Do your thing, Chicken Wing. What up, Super? How are you, Paul? Okay, so we're playing on Nightmare for now. We'll see. We might change that up. We might change it up. Your guess, the Mimic. I would not be upset. I would not be upset. What games have you played? I've played a lot of indie horror games. Hello, Frank. We sensed ya. Oh no, why? Wait, why what? Hi, Green. What's up, Kai? Did they update the tier 3 thermo? Not too long ago. Wait, is that the light? Yeah, okay. That's just reflections, we're fine. Miss Scoozy. Go. All right. Yeah, they updated the thermos so that you don't have to keep like scanning. You just have to hold and you're fine. What up, Colton? Welcome in. Hewitt, Slayer, thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate you. What mode? Nightmare. Yeah, you're welcome, of course. All right, let's do this. Let's do that. No, actually, we're gonna wait. Let's do this first. I always like to do these because because dots and book for some reason will take some time. Well, not some reason. You know what I mean. Usually professional nightmare was a big change. Oh, well, professional to nightmare is a large jump. To be fair to anybody that's trying to go from professional to nightmare, it is a large jump. It's the biggest leap in my opinion. Going from amateur to intermediate, intermediate to professional, professional to nightmare, professional to nightmare is a massive leap in difficulty. Huge. Huge. Anything immediately? Nope. All right. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this for kicks. Sounds good. Take one of these. Call you in the morning. Let's go. I think nightmare to 0 is a big jump. Well, yeah, if you're skipping insanity. But why would you go from nightmare to nothing? Why not go to 1? Hello? Is it in the basement? Negative. Never mind. You're eventually going to walk there. It's fine. Not really active. I mean, it's active enough. Wait to see if it gives us some walkies. We'll wait and see. Randomly guessing a Revy. Okay. Nada. Super cold though. Cold enough? Bolty? I mean, it's throwing stuff, but is it throwing stuff? I brought the sound sensor in so we could hear that from the truck, you butthole. Wait, can it even be? I mean, yeah, I guess it could be. It is throwing a bunch. Here, let's try. You do want to be careful. You do want to be careful, though, because any item that they throw in the pile, you do lose sanity for. I think you lose 2 sanity per item. I think so. Play with yours. Typically at the end of the month if we meet our goal. If it's our sub goal for the month. Here, I brought you TP. Didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know what the distance is. I think it's if you see it. I think it's line of sight. So I think like even if I'm back here, if I see the Pulte pile go off, I'm pretty sure that I lose sanity for it. What is the point of the sound sensor? To be able to hear things? So like if it hadn't written in the book yet, if I walked back to the truck and then I'm gathering things, I could hear it right from the truck. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mute a sound. Oh shit. Nathan, what up, homie? Uh-oh. Sorry, sounds are happening on other things. Thank you for the subs. I can't separate that sound. I totally forgot to mute it, though. Whoops. Until I can figure out how to mute that one. Okay, there we go. Dude, it's really only practical in multiplayer. Lies. Slander. No, you can use it in single. Why is it only practical in multiplayer? No evidence? No, this is nightmare. You notice how the ghost isn't doing anything anymore? It's because we have the light on. Turn the light off. It'll start doing stuff. No pile, though. Okay. Maybe UV. No, it's not going to be UV because we don't have an Obake. We have writing. It can't be a mimic. So, no. Because whoever's in the truck can listen to the speed when the ghost hunts. But I can listen to the speed of the ghost when I'm in that building. Yeah, I don't need... That's not why I used it. I don't use the sound sensors to listen to the ghost hunting speed. I use the sound sensors to hear what the ghost is doing. You know what I mean? Picking up what I'm putting down. Tonaldo, what's up? Cater Tot, hello. Door. Gotta go to sleep. Good night, Sprague. What door is it touching? I don't know. We haven't checked this yet. Let's do this. Do this. We do this. Crucifix, motion sensor. Sure. Got that. Got that. Got that. Let's go. Hey, 13. How are you? Can do Asylum. There is no, unless you're talking about Study Meadows. Asylum has been gone for a long time. Yeah. What ghosts are most affected by the light? The mayor. The mayor. Where are you?
That was taken.
Yeah, I thought so. It could be a Pulte. It might just be a turd. Hell Fallen. Hello, friend. Always walk the Dio. I mean, it could be a Dio. I could try to get a Dio response. If I'm cursed by the Moroi, well, then I'm tanking my sanity as we speak. Where are you?
Taken away.
Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you close? Are you near? Where are you? Are you angry? Where the hell are you? No. No point wasting time. F it. Give me Frank. Franklin! You are requested, my friend. Yeah, they're taken away. Take it away. Take it away. What up, Tim? All right. Hear how it's sped up? Oh, I need to escape it. I don't have a lighter. Okay, we're fine. I should get another YouTuber to play with. Why? I have friends to play with. How is it a Moroi? It is fast when you're... Wait. How is it Moroi? Is it fast when your sanity is low? Yeah, that's the definition of what a Moroi does. Yeah. Hi, Cassie. So it was slow. Out of all these ghosts that we had left, it was slower than normal and obviously not that one. So it had to be this anyway. But when I drained my sanity more, it all of a sudden got faster, even though it couldn't sense me. That's how we knew it was this one. Crucifix. So we'll get this. Actually have a lighter on us this time. I'm just going to take one because we need the crucifix objective. I gotta go see the Slayer. I'm doing well, friends. Dread. Uh-oh. How are you, Dread? Dread. Turn in, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Eat the crucifix. Let's go. Hop 2. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, there we go. They got you an extra pocket for the lighter and you still forgot. That would be 100% correct. Oh, that is correct. Tex! My dude! Am I worried about photos? No, not this round. We'll do it on the next one. Tex, thank you for the subs, dude. What up, Sammy? How are you? Hey, what's up, Eric?
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
There we go. 1,500. Good, how are you? I'm good. Well done. Well done. Lewis, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. All right, where are we going? Where are we going? Tis the question. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. We're just moving. I could random. I could. Woodwind in prison. Man. Hey, Panda, thank you for the prime. Quite the choices. I'm seeing Woodwind, prison, and random. Oh, sorry, in high school. Hi, Molo. How are you? 5. Hey, what up, Chris? What a shocker. I know. I'm also surprised. Spin the wheel, Google. I don't... That was an interesting sentence. I bet we're doing random. No. There's no clear winner. We're doing random. We're doing random. F it. F it, Jeff it. Nope. Random. Did I get anything? We can do an actual vote next time if we want to. All right. It happened anyway. What the hell's the difference? Oh, I'm staring at the ceiling.
Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting.
F random. Nathan, thank you for the subs, dude.
Be careful.
God damn it. I hate this game. Who told me to download this game? Someone's an idiot. Witness it goes to vent, crucifix, rebel. I guess we'll do this. Don't want this or don't want that. That's fine. All right, let's go get the power. Maybe we'll get lucky. Ooh, we can check for some herbs real quick. Yeah. I think high school, I just hate it so much. I just quickly get in there. Don't even try to look anymore. We need to get back on that wagon. Back on that wagon. Crowd controls open. Ooh, got you. Got you. I know what you mean. It's still on the overlay. I'm on it. Love this game. I do too. Give me a second. I need to close an extension so it's no longer on your screen. There we go. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. Thank you. Any ideas for a new map? I've always said that I've wanted a rundown amusement park, but I don't know how they could do that to scale so that it's not a super large map. All right, we're not going to get anything else from that. All right, let's move. Hey, what up, floating? Welcome in. What's up, Shay? Now we walk. A museum? That could be cool. Graveyard, mortuary map. Yeah, there's a lot. At one point, they opened up recommendations in the Discord. Is that ambient or did I just get something? Did I just talk over the ghost talking? Chain me? Nope. Hello? Question is where? Would I have picked up over here? Worn down mansion. That would be kind of cool. It's not cold enough. Dude, get out of here. Why was it 7 degrees in the hallway? What up, Velocity? Is it here? This seems the coldest, but it's not cold enough. Hello? Jack Maudsley. I don't want to get the power because I don't want to miss it. Jack Maudsley. Can't be a hallway ghost. Can't be. Unless it's roaming to me. What the fuck? Look how cold it is out here. I hate it here. Look. This isn't good. Hey, Philip. All right. This is what we need to do. What we need is... we need to track this mother effer down. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. This is the weekly? No. Tips to help find the ghost room. So if you're playing solo, especially if you're on a map like this, that's such a large map, the parabolic microphone is extremely helpful. You see what I'm dealing with right now, where like I have the thermometer, which is really helpful usually, but the issue I'm dealing with is that I'm getting really cold temps in the hallway. So what that's telling me is that the ghost is in the hallway. Now, the ghost room cannot be the hallway inside of high school. Can't happen. Toasty, what's up, homie? It can't be. Can't be. What up, J-Mac? Did you lose a bet? Yeah, it's called random. It's called random. So, since the ghost room cannot be the hallway, that means one of two things. Either A, it's roaming out of its ghost room a lot for some reason into the hallway, or B, it's stalking us. One of the two. I am Colton. Yeah. I am. So there's a possibility that Stinky is there a cam for that hallway? I don't know if there is. I mean, there's no shit for it to throw anyway, but it's fine. Upstairs, maybe. No, I had parabolic microphone response downstairs, and I have the tier 2, so it can't hear through floors. It can't hear through floors. And if it's a banshee, then it can't be stalking me because banshees can't stalk you from second floor to first floor. So that can't happen. That can only happen with a phantom. Yep. All right. Well, how do I want to do this? We could do motion sensors. We could do sound sensors. This could be here. This could be a good test for our sound sensor strats. Try that way. Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. Need a wraith test. Or we could walk around like this, because if it decides to teleport onto me, we would know, because I would get the EMF reading on me. We would hear nothing, but all of a sudden the EMF would go off. We could bring in one of those guys. Really what we need to do? No, this is what we need to do. We need to do this. Take one of these. Make sure we have that on us. Take this. Go turn the goddamn power on. Get a crucifix. We got a smudge. We'll be fine. Thank you, Yetting. My favorite map is Willow. We just need to get the power on. Already told you, Colton. Said yes. It's upstairs. Go over here. You had a dream about a yokai salt. Wait, what? Gold, welcome in. Shame about a yokai. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Hi, Cashley. Any way to upgrade the stamina? No. Nope. You get what you get. It is what it is. What the hell? Okay. So we have cold temps in the hallways, which is interesting. What I'm wondering is if Ghosty is actually further down the hallway. And I wonder if Ghosty's further down the hallway and it's stalking us. Which means it could be a Banshee or it could be a Wraith. Any specific reason you're playing right now? Oh, because I'm not going to be live again until Monday, and I had the time on me since I'm home alone. Ooh, nice and creepy. Hello? Do I hear a sink? Nope, that's just me. Watch a load of the YouTube videos. I appreciate it. Hi, Jenna. It's like, nope, that's background noise from me. Jack Maudsley, you son of a bitch. Show me the breath again. Oh, I fucking knew it. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? How late am I? Not late at all, friend. I wasn't even supposed to be streaming today. When the weekly challenge was on high school, you look for an open door. Were all the doors closed during this past weekly? I mean, that's a pretty decent roam, yeah? I mean, I guess maybe not that far. I don't know. What up, crew? Jana, how's New York? Wait a minute. Yeah, look how far. That's a pretty decent distance. 1.3. 2.5. It threw something with me in the room, so it's not going to be a shade. Where's our... Wait. Oh, there's no light switch in this room. Boo. What's the demon ability? The demon's ability is it can hunt at any sanity. All right. That's taking too long. Let's go. Yeah, the demon can hunt you at any sanity that it so chooses. So you can be 100 sanity the second you walk in the door, hunt. It's always a demon. Hi, Rain. All right. I know I put the lighter down. Just don't let me forget. Rain, 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 rain. How are you, friend? Yeah, and it's actually it's an achievement. If you can get hunted by a demon within a minute of entering a map, you actually get an achievement for it. Lighter down. But it never happens. Gaga, you realize how long it took me to get that achievement? We had to like force it. We had to like force it. What up, BK? Gaga, how are you, friend? What ghost do you see the most when you play? A Yurei. And I hate their guts. Still don't have it? Yeah, I hate it so much. Okay. So Ghosty Shorts is in there. We're going to take another one just to be careful. Okay. This guy, that guy, that guy. We're not going to be able to check for UV yet, but that's okay. We'll do a choo-choo train and we'll come back for more stuff. Unless it decides to give us all the evidence we need. Hey, I should be sleeping. Hey, then go to bed. What are you doing here? Hey, what up, Zeno? It is going well, friend. Yeah, tomorrow morning I leave to go see Mr. Chinggis and Miss Dahlia and all the friends. Okay. We're going to be hopeful. Wait, I have no evidence. I was like, we're going to be hopeful that I don't get hunted here. We'll stay crouched. Shh, everybody quiet. Thanks for the follows, by the way. Here, we'll open the bathroom door. Just in case I have to take a boa. Why did that sound like that came from in here? Miss Squeeze Me. Where are you? You. Can the ghost hear you if you're not using the spirit box and not in a hunt? I'm using push to talk, so the ghost can't hear me right now. What's wrong with you? All right, I have spirit box. I'm gonna go. I know we have to choo-choo it, but I'm gonna go get the UV just to be sure. Just to be sure. Never be too certain. Has to try at least once. Try what? Wait, what? Wait, what does Flash have to try? I am very confuzzled. Event crucifix rebel. Okay. Okay. Still not gonna have a smudge. We'll be fine. Is there a certain curse object you like more than others? Oh yeah, the music box. Love it. Love it. In the tier 1 UV, the second tier. Yes, they switched it. Flip flop. Yep. What's up, Andrew? Oh, the Dorito liquor. Yeah. Yeah, I did tell him that I would probably maybe try it. Yeah. Up that. I'm stuck on a wall. Yeah. Probably pretty stupid. You know what I should do? For shits and kicks, you know what we should do? Question. For those that might know this answer. For those that might know. Mr. Cooks, they give it the 10 months. The ghosts that stalk you and whatnot, they will even stalk you. They will stalk you even when you're at the front door, not in the house yet. That is correct, right? Does it depend on the threshold, how far you're in? Does it just matter how close you are? Like, how close do I need to be for them to do that? The threshold doesn't matter. Really? I don't know if I ever knew that. Like, I guess I've never thought about it. I guess Dave would have been the guy to ask, because, like, he does that. I know he does the testing a lot with that. Yeah. Got insta-killed by a banshee. As you walk through the door, oh my god. Just in the front door. Yeah, because, like, if I sit like this, you know, Ghosty is on the same floor as us. So that is a potential for... Actually, shit, you know what we should do? We should do it like this. The move would be... like that. That would be the move. Because if it's a... well, shit. Okay, hold on. If it's a wraith, that's not going to help me with anything. He uses motion sensor to know the threshold. Really? Huh. Interesting. Do you know about the new... what? New brightness setting? What do you mean the new brightness setting? Gold, thank you for the biddies. Wraiths are rats. No, they're fine. We'll bring an extra smudge for kicks. Now it's a wraith. I know. We need a crucifix objective anyway. But I wanted the extra smudge. That's fine. I feel like it should be where the ghost can't roam unless you're in the building. Yeah, but then people would cheat the system and then the ghost would be sitting still. You know what I mean? Thank you for the follows. All right. So Mike uses but that doesn't make sense because can't you place the motion like, watch. Or maybe you can't. Wait. Excuse. Yeah. Look. What up, Drew? So I'm able to place that from inside out here. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So is that helpful at all? If the ghost decides to walk out that door, oh, we're going to know all about it. Look, I'm setting like a Mission Impossible trap. Oh, no, they probably know all about this. You can take dots and you can stand inside the building and then place them outside. Yeah. Yeah. We'll wait here for a second. We'll see. We'll see. What up, Tide? How are you? Hope we get more ghost types in the future. Amen. Amen. Agreed upon. I would love another one. The ghost doesn't want to be here either. I don't know. I think we just had a ghost that just decided to roam like really crazy far. That was weird. I don't know why. What up, Kyle? Yeah, I think it's fine. If it's not fine, well, then it's about to not be fine, if you know what I mean. Get that guy, get that guy. Get the crucifix. And shit. I mean, if we want, we can take another one of these, you know. Because Ghosty is not coming over here. We've been standing over here, and it has not made its way over here. It hasn't set the motion sensor off. It hasn't walked in the salt. It hasn't done any of that jazz. Any of that jazz. Longest game of all time. So you've never played Phasmo before? Shut up. Uh-oh. Wait, is that the book? Okay. So I'm pretty sure it tossed the book. So no writing. Shut up. So we have spirit box. I didn't get a spirit box, did I? Did I get a spirit box? Where are you?
Right here.
No, I'm right here. Oh, maybe I did. Now I did. What a turd. Quit talking to yourself. Well, I'll have a camera. I can pull cards, which is going to be spicy. Again, if this is a stalking ghost, it's an absolute jerk because it's not coming over to us. Cursed objects is cards, unfortunately. Yeah. But it might have to be, it might have to just be what it is. Might have to be what it is. Yeah, that's fine. Don't have donuts. Why the hell do I need donuts? What a weird thing to say. I can't say. There they are. Okay. So a hunt. We'll give 2 of these away over here. If I get it to chase me over there, we'll know about this. Know about the 3rd one. Actually, we could really try our luck here. If the ghost events on me here, we'll know if it's a Wraith or not. Unless I draw a Hanged Man card. What do I have on me? Do I have double smudge? I do. Okay, good. Oh no, it's a ghost fart. Run. Okay, we're good. Did it shut all the hall? Okay, good. Just this one. What a jerk. Am I in Sunny Meadows? No, I know that I know this looks like an insane asylum, but it's a high school. Is that a phantom? Bro, you are the worst. Wow. Wow. So yeah, it was stalking us earlier. It just decided to give up. What up, Aiden? Thank you, friend. I hope they remaster high school so that it's not so hated. I think that is the plan in the future. Yeah. Eventually. Okay. Ay, caramba. Oh, wait, that's a window. Where am I? Hold on. What is this place? Who are you? Where are you? What am I? So look, the objects that are around here, I want you to see. You can't pick up any of this shit. You see these things? Nothing. It's all like glued down. All of it. You can't pick up anything. That's why all of this stuff is the worst. You can't pick up anything. Most of this is just a texture on the floor. Most of it is. Yeah. Yeah, in here you've got some stuff. Like a few on the table, but that's about it. That's about it. What map do you think is the most hard? I mean, most hard? It's a hard question to answer. Like most, it's not the map that makes it hard, it's the ghost. Because you can have a high school map, but if all of a sudden you get a DO, now the map's not so hard, you know? It's high school. I'm not, no. Nope, not worth the time. Not worth the time. Yeah. If you get high school and then you get a shade that is in the back right-hand corner, it's the worst ever, right?
There's some jobs ready for you.
Get a Thayer, a demon on Woodwind? Yeah. I always get lost in the big campsite ever since they changed it. There's a lot of turns. You have to turn like 1,500 different times just to get out of there. Which, fair enough. All right. But yeah, I mean, they made all those changes. They made all those changes just to try and, I guess, comply with console. So we'll see what they do. I'd rather not do a play only large maps day. Yeah. Yeah. If possible. I do have ads that are about to start though, so we are going to play them now. If you don't have turbo, if you're not subbed, we wait in the lobby we wait here for everybody. So you're not going to miss anything. As soon as they are done, then we all go together so that we're going to miss any gameplay. So we'll be right back after 3 minutes. Yeah, we'll do a small map next. Hi, Crow. We'll do a small map next. We'll be right back. Does the ghost hunt from the same room only or from where the last hunt ended? Does the ghost hunt from same room only or from last hunt ended? No, when a hunt ends, the ghost teleports back to the room. So there's like a very, very tiny chance for a ghost to end up changing its room to where it like roamed, like when it does a long roam sometimes. But when it's hunting and it's walking around, it doesn't change its room during that. No. I would love big map day. Oh, just do like 3 maps for the day. Call it quits. Yeah. Can I give you a tip for each ghost? I'd rather not sit here and go through all 24 ghosts and give a tip. I have a lot of videos though. Yeah. Yeah. Just for the sake of time. Yeah. But that's why I play through different rounds all the time. Whenever it's a lot easier to implement something, or I guess talk about advice for the ghost when we're actually dealing with the ghost, rather than being like, so there's this one and this one and this one and this one. Because trying to retain information that someone told you about something when you don't have it tangibly in front, like in your hand, like in front of you, eyeballs on it, it's like impossible to go with unless you're burying it into your skull by watching videos over and over and over again. Tell me everything there is to know about this game. All right. 50 seconds. 50 seconds and we're good to go. Take a cookie. What kind of cookie? What kind? Having issues with Jin's acting off? I don't think so. Not usually. Why do you hate the Wraith? I love the Wraith. It's easy to tell what it is. Tell you about things that I know nothing about in full confidence. Roger that. Love a Dio. Everybody loves a good Dio. Everybody loves a good Dio. I don't love Dios. Sarash. You have a 1 in 24 chance of being happy, okay? You have a 1 in 24 chance. All right. Let us... Edgefield. I'm willing to risk my happiness for that chance. That's poetic. That's poetic.
Check the equipment and get
That's very poetic.
Nothing to report. It looks like whoever was here left in a hurry.
Put it on a Hallmark card. Difficulty. Play no Nightmare. Nice, relax. Nice and chill. Nice and chill Nightmare. It's my favorite game mode. Yeah. You can get a photo of every ghost. No, you can't. Literally cannot. Okay, let's rock. Elizabeth Barber, 25% parabolic microphone and rappel. It'll register as a ghost photo, but you won't have a photo of a ghost, though. Picking up what I'm putting down. How old are you? Goodbye. Okay, 68. tarot cards? I literally had tarot cards in the last map. What do you mean? Literally the last map had tarot cards. What are you talking about? What do you use to see chat while you play? So what I started using, I used to use just, I mean, so I have two different chats going. Well, technically 2 chats going at the same time. I have one, because I'm trying out a new format. So I have my Twitch chat that's over on my right. Well, I guess, no, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I have 3 different windows open at the same time. I have my Twitch chat, which is inside of my OBS dock over on my right. But then I'm also using StreamerBot. And StreamerBot has a chat also where it combines YouTube and Twitch. So I'm looking at that. And I also have TikTok window above it. So I'm monitoring technically 2 chat windows at the same time instead of 3, because I used to monitor 3 at the same time. But I've combined 2 of them now. Can you see BTTV in your OBS chat? I can, but I don't think I can see it in the StreamerBot chat. 3 monitors, yep. Subbed, appreciate it, man. Thank you for the biddies, Gold. Where you at, Ghost? Yeah, you're welcome, of course. Yeah, StreamerBot has the ability to where you can have the YouTube chat go in and you don't have to freaking change the link every time, which is amazing. Wait a minute. This seems familiar. Wait a minute. I have deja vu. Wait a minute. Hello? I should take sanity. Wait a gosh darn minute. We were in that bathroom and I'm pretty sure we found that bone. Call me crazy. I'm pretty sure it was that exact situation. Wash your hands. Don't tell me how to live my life. Dad. Ooh, I heard a dir. No. Wait, it's over here. Oh, close. Empress! Misinformation, hello? Oh, wait. You got the juice on me, you piece of crap? Did you have a hard time adjusting to the update? Which update? Which one? Willow Street's the best. I love Willow Street. It's my favorite map of all time. Oh, you poopied in the sink. Oh, how good. That's great. So proud of you. Having to work? BK. Hey, Visual, how are you? Welcome in. Appreciate it, man. Why is tier 1 thermo better? It's not anymore. It used to be. Past tense. No longer. Now it sucks. I'm very confused. Is the ghost here or not? Like, temperature-wise would be cool if you... Whatever. F you. Nerd. What is better than? Tier 3. Yeah. Tier 3 for sure. Get that guy. We're going to bring another one of these in for kicks. Stop pooping everywhere, dude. Shut up. I should probably turn that off, huh? I can't see shit. Where are you? Are you near? Are you close? Where are you? Are you near? Are you actually in the laundry? Where are you? Are you near? I saw it, Head. Just not wasting time by marketing in the book right now. Yeah. You're in there. I see you, homie. What do you think? Late orbs? You know, I placed 2 books over here. One of them I placed outside. Place the other one in. There we go. There's a difference between tier 2 and tier 3 tripod. One's less likely to get knocked over. One is less likely to get knocked over. That's the big difference. What are the odds that we all of a sudden just an orb just comes out of nowhere? Ghost we thinking? I don't know. Hard to say. It can't be a Thay, so I don't necessarily have to worry about the age anymore. It's trying to lock us out. What a jerk. We could do... I need to do parabolic anyway. So we could do this and this. No. Wait, can you be a... Don't you dare. Where are you? Are you near? I'd say probably not. Give me whispers. But you could be a phantom. I should get a camera, huh? Good guess, Don Rio. Roger that. Let's get a camera. Could be a Goryo. Many much? No, it hasn't done any. What do you mean? Good player before the updates came out. There's been a lot of changes. Elizabeth Barber. Elizabeth. Give us a whisper. Elizabeth. You miss the old truck? I don't. I definitely don't miss the old truck. Elizabeth. No. Ma'am. Elizabeth. Hello. They can become more active when you say their name. Elizabeth, please. I just want to talk. Elizabeth. Oh, you little shit. Come on. It came right to me. Come on. Do it. Oh wait. Ooh. Okay, hold on. This could be a waste of time, but I want to try it anyway. Because this could be a nice little like testing way of showing like what the ghosty is. You know? This could be a nice little testing way. Do the scream. It's not talking to us at all. So I'm gonna go up here. We're gonna go over here. Over here. We're gonna put this guy right there. Put that right there. Put that right there. Over here. Put this over there. Go. Whoa! Okay. Okay. All right. Give me this. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Watch. It's gonna be for nothing. Just a whisper. That's all I want, man. Come on. It's all we need. You look. Think you're funny? Huh? Huh? No, banshees do not do it 3 times. For those curious. Thank you. Holy shit. All right. So, this idea, this test would be, the idea being the difference between a banshee and a phantom. A banshee won't stalk across floors unless its ghost room is in an attic or a basement. But a phantom will. So I'm just curious. We'll wait here a second, see what it does. Phasmophobia, what's up, friend? Just curious. This could be an absolute waste. What's the easiest way of doing this? Make it hunt. But that's just, you know. Make it hunt, make it hunt, make it hunt. You're not showing all the game. It gets boring after a while. You gotta find all the extra stuff. What up, Z? Can the phantom do the banshee scream? Well, no, because then it wouldn't be a banshee scream. Wolfed! Hi, friend. So yeah, coming from the kitchen, back in the laundry, all the way to here, the chance of a banshee doing that is very low. Very, very low. You know it's a banshee, right? You know that the banshee scream that you heard was fake, right? Now we're on the same page. Yeah, banshees don't do 3 screams back to back. Yeah. Well, my favorite Celsius, orange. The orange is my jam. This game is not free. No. See, the ghost has not come up here at all. So I'm really feeling like it is a banshee. So I would love if it would give us a ghosty scream. Mimic? No, it gave us dots. Maybe it's one short of a barbershop quartet. Oh shit, I'll come sing. Do you need another? Oh. Did you hear the EMF? No, it's the little Toothy McToothface. I don't want to hang out with it. Where's the flashlight? Oh, it's this way. Here, just in case it decides to show its big stupid onion-headed face. Do the roar. What up, Blake? How are you? Elizabeth Barber, please. I understand like the chance of doing the banshee scream is like lower, but holy crap. Banshees can't travel up floors though, right? Correct. Banshees cannot stalk across floors unless their main ghost room is unless their main room is an attic or a basement. Then they can. Well, that solved our problem. 25% in repel. 25% in repel. I need... We don't need the crucifix. I just need more smoochies. So that answers our question. So, there we go. We took a photo of Stinky. So... we see that Stinky did not disappear. It's just not giving us the banshee scream. Yep, it just doesn't want to do it. There's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. Actually, you know what? Give me you two. Yeah. It's a 68-year-old kid. That is correct. That is right. It is a 68-year-old onion-headed kid. Yes, confirmed. Is it video cam only? The Goryo? Oh, we both just turned a light on. F these shoes. Yeah, the Goryo, you can only see the Goryo you can only see through the video camera. Oh, now we want to get all active. You see that? Although it did walk through my salt. Thank you. She's upset. I didn't do anything. I just work here. Although I have them shoes. That's right. What do I have? 6 here? Hi, Sam. Spicy? Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have Bode. And then what else do we have? We have phalanges. Hello? I'm afraid to do it. Look how fast that disappears, dude. Jesus cribbity! Ouija board. Did I not get a photo with the Ouija? No, I didn't. You're right. You little stinker. It flatlined. We need help. Random Sarah. Hello, friend. Oh, and the poo water. Man, you guys keeping us accountable. I like it. I like it. I like it. Sarah, how are you? How was Strimstram? We got poo water there. We have another... Goo. Look how fast they go away, though. Look. How's Phaz? Phaz is good. There we go. Done. Now we need repel and sanity. Okay, so we'll do that with the board. Hi, Peggy. Take a photo of the phalanges. But that's only if it walks through salt, though, Shade. It has to walk through salt. Still on Prestige 12. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we have smudgies. We're good to go. We're going to drop our sanity. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to ask some questions. What should we ask it? Regina Phalange. That's correct. Getting perfect games. I'm getting one right now. On like high school and stuff, I wasn't worried about high school. No shot. Not worried about it at all. Didn't know you could put them on the... Oh, yeah. You can stack all kinds of stuff on the light switches. Yeah. That's what likes chips. We could ask for like chips. Hey, do you like chips? Do you like chips? Wonder what kind. Do you like beards? How many people have pooped in this house? Was it you? Goodbye. I think it was one. If it's 111, I don't know what kind of like black market, like underground poo market that they're running here, but I'm not all about it. Hello? Do I have a backup smudge over here? Don't you take my smudge, you piece of shit. The underground poo market apparently is thriving in Phasmo land. It's Airbnb, but just for toilets. Dude, what a mark. You son of a bitch. Dude, that's a market. Tell me you don't have to like quickly go to the bathroom somewhere. Tell me. Tell me you don't quickly be like, oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Boom. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. We haven't come up with a name yet. Poops on the fly. No, that's too. It's got to be quick. It's got to be snappy. IBS. Not. Nope. RB and poo. Gotta go. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. You little bitch. E. I'm gonna smudge again. Wait. We're okay. We're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Throne. I don't think Throne would be too happy with us if we tried to use something close to their name. I kind of like gotta go. All right, bye. Appreciate your business. What if I went to go ask how many people pooped in the house and it changed to 2? All right, Banshee, we got all our photos. We got the bone. We're ready to rock. How are the matches going? They're good. What's up, Northern? After the last one. No, it's lone. It's a poor little lonely guy. Didn't want us to leave.
Welcome back.
Although it didn't give us a Banshee scream, so I don't care what it wants. We would have stuck around if it would have paid up. Aldi, what are you doing? Aldi's at Chingus's. Aldi's at Chingus's. Hi, Caitlin. How are you? What's happening tomorrow? I'm leaving in the morning to drive there. Can't wait to see pics. I have no idea what kind of photos are going to happen. I can't make any promises. I don't know. It's really, really hard to say. I am at Chingus's. What's up, Craig? How are you? The royal flush. Okay, that's it. That's enough. That's enough. All right. Do I have? Hold on. Give me a sec. Okay. Thanks for the follow. Followed literally this minute and then said you are welcome for the follow. That was odd. Was checking my monitor over here to make sure that my dog is okay, that we found out has possible kidney stones. All right. Yeah. I was about to say, I'm going to go upstairs real quick and go check on her, make sure she's doing good. She's acting way better though. Way better than yesterday. Yeah, we took her to the vet. way more normal today. Way better. Way better. Yeah. 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 They said that they saw some stuff. They said that they saw a few things. They're like probably gonna like that she could probably pass them. So we'll wait and see. But today she was acting way more normal, for sure. Your mom had kidney stones. Ugh, dude, I can't imagine. I don't know what that's like. I can't speak to that, but man, but yeah, she's acting way more normal. But I'm gonna go check on her real quick. Okay. So I am gonna go BRB. I'm actually gonna change it to BRB, so I'm not just sitting here at a chair. So there's not too much confuzzlement. But yeah, I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's okay. Grab you a drink. Shut your butt. But thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Give me a sec. I'll turn the music up a little bit too. All right, there you go. BRB. Alrighty. She's good. All is well. All is well. Yeah, the biggest concern with her was just making sure that she was regularly using the restroom and drinking water and all that jazz. And yesterday was iffy, but today she's been perfectly fine. So that's been great. Used to be a vet tech. Jennifer, that's awesome. All right. We're back. We are back. Do. Let's go. Let's go there. Appreciate that, Lanus. Trog, thank you. What's up, sissy? What up, Courtney? Finally made it. Welcome in, friend. Do. All right, let's go to classic Tangle Street. Classic. Totally forgot to upgrade the candelabra. Motion sensor. Calling it's going to be in the nursery. I think it's going to be dining room. Oh my God, I can't believe how much fun I'm having with Chesney, Aldi, and Evie. What that means is you guys are literally sitting there on your phones doing absolutely nothing. That's what that means. You guys are sitting there around a TV with the TV playing diddly shit while you guys are scrolling your phones. How's the social media? You content creators? Fuck. Was I close? Was I like this close? That close? I know what we do. Don't get mad at us. Was I close? Like, I'm right though, right? Hey, what you bitching about? Oh, look, she's on her phone. Crazy talk. How did she respond so fast? I don't get it. Tee with a haha. Hi, Dahlia. How are you, friend? You guys have fun. Oh, what'd you guys do for dinner tonight? I know that you guys were doing, I know you guys were having some kind of plans tonight. What did you do for din? It's snowing. Yeah, it's snowing. You made baked ziti. Oh, that sounds good. They posted a pic already? Okay, I'll have to check it out. We had amazing dinner and you missed out? No, you didn't. I mean, no, I didn't. Maybe I had Taco Bell. You don't know what happened. Oh, shit! Hey there, man. What's up? Did I hear? Should see the pic. I don't want to see the pic. Why's Aldi got to say it like that? Watch out for the poops later. Roger that. That's right. You have to deal with me tomorrow, so all's well. I should show the pic. I should not show the pic. Nacho fries? Hell yeah. That's where it's at. Would you even be surprised with the pic of Aldi? Why do I have a feeling that Aldi's wearing his helmet? Show the picture. Stop trying to peer pressure me, Chesney. Shut up, ghost. There's something on the floor in the dining room. Wait, what? I don't think so. Probably just a disheveled rug. Evie's wearing the shirt. I know Coach was wearing her her yokai shirt, which is really funny because, well, she doesn't play Phasmo anymore. All right, car bedroom. It is not where we thought it was. Wearing the midnight shirt tomorrow. Hey, let's go. Who needs lights? I do. Only have 4. Yeah. Manifestation is going to be an EMF 4. Yep. Nothing more. Yep. Yep. Hold on. Hold on. I got to look at this freaking photo. Hold on. I fucking knew it. Dude. I know people so goddamn well. all I gotta say, I know people so goddamn well. I told you he'd be wearing his goddamn helmet. Ay, ay, ay. Ghost in the garage. Yeah, it's in the garage. Dude, the baked ziti looks great, though. That looks fantastic. Who's who? Well, you have Aldi, you have CJ, you've got this wonderful Mr. Matachinkas, who my wife calls Chingaling for some reason, and then Dahlia and Coach. And then poor Evie, you know, just missing, I guess. That's fine. That's right. Whatever. Sweetest. Hello. How are you? All right. There will be more photos. Trust me. I'll make sure to take photos while I'm there. Trust. Hey, Mythical. How are you? It's a nice light fixture. That's what you got from that, Crow? That's a nice light fixture, is what you said. Chingus, you have a good light fixture. Oh, yes. Including the photo with me and Coach. Coach is significantly shorter than I am. Hey, Jade. You son of a bitch. Guaranteed not a gym. Yeah, Coach is 5'2" and a half. I am 6'4". So it's not a shade. It's gonna be an interesting photo. Although it vented like right in my face too. That's true. Turning into a picture showing stream. We will whenever we have like a lot more photos. Flash is a tree. He's not. Shut up, Ghost. He's setting off the car again. This freaking jerk. Hi, yi. Do one of those. 6'4" you should share. No, it's mine. Although we found out, so my kid, thank you for the follows. Carcard, thank you. Reg, welcome. Noid, hello. So my kids, before they left for their trip, they had a doctor's appointment, all of them. And my eldest child, he's 5'2". Coach, he's 12. Don't even know why you can't follow. I don't know, Phantom. I don't know why it's being dumb. It's just Twitch be twitching. He could be a tall boy. Yeah, he's gonna be a tall. He's gonna be a tall boy. I'm playing on Nightmare. Nice, relaxing Nightmare runs before my trip to go visit some stream friends. Yeah. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you close? Are you near? Where are you? Are you close? Are you far? Where are you? Are you near? Future NBA star? Listen, I'm down for it, you know. You son of a bitch. Mr. Cow King. Oh my goodness. Hopefully he does not have to wear super huge shoes. Yeah, those are expensive. Those are expensive. We just found out that my 12-year-old brother's 5'6". Holy shit. Is Mrs. Flash tall? No, she's like 5'4". No, she's not that tall. Bridge, welcome in. Find the game scary with friends? No, it's scarier alone. For sure. No, it's absolutely scarier alone. It's way more. I think you're gonna find. I think, in my opinion, it's scarier alone. But I think that it is still scary with friends. I think that you're gonna have hilarious times solo, but you're also gonna have hilarious times with friends that you can't have solo. Really funny voice interactions, muffled screaming, things like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. There might be a show later on from Chinggis P. I don't know what that means, and that's a little scary. Jess, welcome. How are you? All right. I have all the evidence in there, and it's not giving us diddly squat. So I'm going to get a smudge because I'm fearful that this ghost is going to moita our faces. I'm going to bring in more salt. And one of these. We're sleeping in that room. Okay, listen. If Chinggis goes live, if I were you, I would not tune into his stream. I'm sorry, is the ghost stuck? Like, are you stuck, step ghost kind of thing? Or is it a wraith? Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, you just walked in the salt, you bag of shit. Also, you can tell if it's the child ghost by how big the footprints are. Hey, Non. What's up, Simply? All right, we got goo prints. That's it so far. No one's sleeping in my office. I'm boring. Wait, why does that make you boring? I don't understand. No writing. Could be a Goryo, I get. Oh, it might be freezing. No spicy. Well, it can't be you. Let's make sure. I have ghost orbs. You see it? You saw it when I didn't have the video camera in my hand? That's interesting. That's some high-tech vision you got there. Crackward, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Hey, hey, no, bad grandma, no. Have I tried Death Watchers? I have. Yeah, I have a video on it. I played it once. Dude's got built-in night vision. Well, even night vision, you can't see the orbs. Like the night vision, sorry, the night vision goggles you can't see. Yeah. If you were banned, you wouldn't be able to talk. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. So demon, Hantu. I don't see orbs, so I'm gonna assume that. So a hunt will give it away. Motion sensor, parabolic. I don't want to get hunted yet. We want to get the objectives. Check freezing. I have freezing. What do you mean? Guessing a demon. We will see. Sailor, turn off your car. It does love the car. There we go. All right. What was the cursed? Did the dots not count because it was an event? It wasn't dots. It was not dots. Played Mortuary Assistant. I have, but it's been a while. It's been a minute. What's up, Gus? Let's go get a camera. I forgot about the bone. I forgot about the bone. What's up, Eric? This guy. Might as well take in this just for kicks. Yeah. Car's annoying. It's supposed to be. It's 1,000,000% supposed to be annoying. It walked through the dots. No, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't walk through the dots. What you thought was dots. It was the ghost eventing and physical. It was a physical manifestation of the ghost walking, and you thought it was dots. It wasn't dots. How many hours? All of them. At least a few couple. Yeah. Do I have a flashlight at the front door? Exactly. Playing Nightmare. I have ultraviolet and freezing. Literally can't get dots. Literally cannot get it. If I did get it, there are no ghosts that actually provide that evidence. Goo. There we go. Yeah, it's not dots. Oh, it was ribcage. Yeah, it is. It is. I just haven't been over there yet. On Nightmare? Yeah, even if I wasn't on Nightmare, you wouldn't have seen dots. Either way, you didn't see it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way. Right, big dog? Sure am, homie slice. Is that this one? Was that a... Wait, was that a triple pile right there? Triple? Okay. Thank you. I always forget. We're about to find out. Yeah, we're good. Any advice for new player? Always know where you can hide, friend. Always know. Listen, dude. All right. Ms. V, thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Got a raid and lurk. No worries, friend. I appreciate you. We're gonna go get another smudge just in case. Let's go get another one just in case. That guy. And another flashlight in case he shuts the power off again. Yeah, knowing where to hide is definitely very high on the list. If you're playing on low difficulties, then it's not going to be as difficult to find a place to hide because most spots are going to be open. But like this right here is blocked. So it's normally a hiding place, but because I'm playing on a harder difficulty, it's blocked right now. Nightmare, there's only a few spots that are open, so you just have to find what they are. So it's not a bad idea to look around first and find out what they are. So look around, check your closets, okay? It's all blocked over here, you know? Go check over there, go check over there. Nope, nope. There's nothing in there. Then you can go in there. I mean, the ghost room is here, but still. Look, the locker is open. So, I mean, if you wanted to, the way to do it, also I have the basement too. You could loop the ghost in the kitchen and then go hide in the lockers. But I have this hiding too. So this is a good one. Right here. Hope it's a Hantu. It's probably going to be a Hantu. It hasn't hunted me yet. If this is a demon, this is a really shitty demon. If it's a demon, it's a pretty crap demon. Shut up. Always a demon? I don't think so. Okay. What did I say about the cursed? Did I say we knew what it was or no? Hey, Ping. No. No? Okay. No music box, right? No? Okay. It's not the cards. Maybe it's Frank. Maybe I didn't see it because they bursted the lights out. Son of a bitch. Hi, Frank. It's Frank. Frank's excited. Any advice to level up faster? Play higher multipliers. Yeah. But even though the nursery has this spot blocked, this is still a good place to go because you can go over here. This will break line of sight. You just got to be careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. Once it leaves the garage, it'll be slow. Lori, welcome in. Hey, idiot. I don't know why it didn't come to me in the first place. Nah. Not in the mood. Turn off the power so we could see its breath. All right. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Okay, we're good. Want a quick snack? Want a quick snack? Hantu all day? Oh, yeah. We knew it was a Hantu because it wasn't hunting us. I mean, it wasn't a demon for sure. But sometimes you get crappy demons, so it does not hurt to double check.
Welcome back.
I think it was the other day. People were like so sold on like a phantom or something like that. And it was, and I was like, I don't know, man. It might be this other ghost, and it was the other ghost. Yeah. Why do you want to see the bones? I mean, we have them all. Divine, thank you, Fred. Welcome back, Star. Never trust? No. Never text. Never. Level 47. When do we unlock everything? When? Practicing looping. Nice. Blah, blah. 49. All right. Once we get to level 49, we're completely away from all tier 1. Okay, well, let's expedite the process then, shall we? Expedite. Ripley! Oh, there you go, Phantom. Ripley, thank you for the sub. Phantom, thank you for the follow. I'm glad you were able to get it figured out, friend. I don't know why Twitch was being Twitch on you. Why you do these things. But it does happen for sure. All right. Get that guy. Get that guy. Get that guy. Motion sensor, EMF, and cleanse. So we're going to do this. Drop. Oh, Ash. Thank you for gifting a sub to Phantom, dude. It might eat this. Not just followed, but subbed. I appreciate you. This is no sanity, no evidence, by the way. I want to expedite getting to level 49. Miling? Maybe not. We'll see here in a second. Ghost is dumb. Ah, that was delayed. I don't trust. I don't trust. Geo, thank you for the... Wait. Geo, does this say 2 months on your end? Hey, what's up, Just? Games have been good. How have you been? It does. Okay. It's been, the activity feed has been so wonky for me. It's been so weird for me. It's been saying different things. And I don't know why. All right. We'll wait for it to come back upstairs. See, I can hear it walking around though. Hey. Yeah, come here, dude. All right, you look very normal. All right, this next time we'll smudge. What's up, Minnie? Welcome in. Feels like a lifetime. Okay. Thank you for the follows. Welcome. Oh, you son of a bitch. Gaff. Jade. Jade, thank you for gifting to Allison. Uh-oh. Gotta go to bed. No worries, Minnie. What's up, Cupid? How are you? Please hunt somewhere else. Please hunt somewhere else. Eat more Timo. A little strange you're not hunting me right now. A little strange, yes? Don't, you son of a bitch. Don't. Oh, you piece of crap. I hate your face. I just hate it so much. Curse object? No. You know what? We're going with a mare and I'm dipping. We're going with a mare. Gio, thank you for the bits. Thank you, friend. I think it might have, because I have ads that are coming. I have ads that are coming and I don't want you guys to get hit by them. All right. Well, while we're doing this. Okay. Let's try. Just thank you for the prime. Shit.
Welcome back. I prepared some jobs for you.
I had to try, man. We just had to wing it. I had to go for it. Ads are about to start. If you're not subbed or you don't have turbo, don't stress. You're not going to miss anything. You're good. Don't worry about it. I'll wait here for you. We do 3 minutes every hour, so that way there's no pre-rolls. We wait. That's why I was just like, F it. We just need to get out of there. We just got to get out of there. Yeah. Cassidy, thank you for the gifted. Welcome in, friends. Mimic? No, it wasn't a mimic. Although I kind of wish it was a mimic. Minnie, thank you for the bit. The 0-0 runs are fun though. They are fun. If you're just, especially if you're just gonna trying to get like a few quick levels. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. When do I play again? I'll be live again on Monday after today. Yeah, I went live today because I'm not going to be live again until Monday. Yeah. Yeah. What up, Betty? Oh, I didn't switch over to the ad screen. My bad. Going on another trip? Kind of, yes. I'm going over to see some stream friends. Driving to see some stream friends. Yeah. Gio, thank you for the 5 subs. Not going to be alive again. That's correct, Death Merchant. Yes. Correct. That is correct. Nailed it. Right on the head. And there's a hair somewhere. Meeting stream friends? Yes. I mean, I've already met Chinggis and Dahlia, but I have not met... Dude, there's a hair, and I can't tell. I think it's on my hat. I have not met Chinggis. I have not met... I mean, Chinggis. Oh my God. I have not met Coach. I have not met Aldi. I have not met Evie in person. There's a bunch of the friends that I have not met in person that I'm going to get to meet. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. All right, minute 20. We'll be back. Minute 20. Rafa. Hi, friend. What zone am I in? Eastern. Eastern. Thoughts on the game Dead by Daylight? It's fine. I've played it before. I just don't. I've played it a couple times. Not very much. Yeah. Pretty sure. Oh, yeah, and Baron too. Yeah, I don't know how long Baron's going to be there, but I think Baron is also going to be there. I do, Valdi. Yeah. Thank you, Sparkle. Dahlia Khan. Dahlia Khan. These ads. I don't know which ones Drew is getting. I'll have to ask Drew when they come back. I haven't had ads on Twitch in so long. I don't know what kind of ads they play anymore. You're going to meet Beardo? I'm going to meet Beardo. Yes. Weirdo the Beardo. I'm going to meet him in person. Yeah. Him, Chinggis and Baron have done, they've gone like ghost hunting and stuff together before, which has been it was pretty fun to watch. Yeah. Billy, what's up? Welcome in. All right. Almost over. We are almost good. I want to get to level 49. That's our goal. That's our goal. Love to go on one of those. That would be cool. I appreciate you, Blue Hawk. All right, we're back. Oh, Jesus. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. We'll do it this time on Willow. Okay. How do you get that background for your card? You have to be an official Phasmophobia creator, so you have to be a Kinetic partner. Okay, let's do that guy, that guy, that guy, but you can apply for that in the official Phasmo Discord. Yeah. Okay, Ghost Event, Firelight. All right, let's do Firelight. So we'll bring that guy. We have all that. Let's rock. Let's rock. When's it coming to console? It's going to be coming to console during the Halloween event this year. It's a Banshee. Roger that. Yeah, no evidence, no sanity. I'm level 47. We're just going to do a quick few runs, try to get to 49. Jade, thank you for gifting a sub to Inu. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Wonderful start to our month. Keep forgetting that today is the first of the month. What up, Justin? Hate the electric box sometimes in the basement. It's a pain in the ass sometimes, yeah. Why is Ghosty no hunting? It's throwing a bunch of stuff. You hear that? Being shy a little bit. What's up, Miller? Little polty line. Little guy. Just a little guy. What the hell's going on? I'm assuming it's in the basement. So that's got to be a myling, right? Right? Kind of like has to be a myling kind of thing. Like we didn't even hear it until it was about to go downstairs. Let's do this. Are you a yokai? Vetty, thank you, friendo. I have stream open on my phone and computer, and he sounds like an... Oh, because the voice is doubling? Now batting! Yeah. Come on, Ghost! I'm torn. Yeah, does Shade do that? It's gonna stop hunting. Yeah. Typical. Do the double doors block the line of sight? Yeah. Ghost can't see through it. Flame. It's having a slow day. Well, tell it to speed the hell up. Bring this. We'll bring another smudge for the halibut. We got the firelight, which is great. But I'll bring a flashlight. My least favorite ghost is a Yurei. Yeah, my least favorite, for sure. Yeah. Wasn't ready. Okay. Get our juice. Turn off the damn shower. Shut up. Shut up. There we go. Ready to rock. Ready to rock. Hope you get a deal at some point. Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't had a deal in a while. It's been a little while. I'm thinking it's not a myling. Fluffy, welcome in. What the? How did it? Because it walked through here, walked like this, and all right. Yokai, I don't think so, but we are gonna smudge. We are gonna smudge. Fluffy, how was your stream? Jojo, thank you for the follow. How are you? It's a Revy. Roger that. Nailed it. First try. No, it's a stinker. Blinks look normal and everything, right? A gin? What? A frickin' gin? Every time I get a deer now, I call out, I'm taking my deer on a walk. Hell yeah. That's right. What up? Hi, Christy. How are you? You played GFT. Oh, nice. How was? I've never actually played that game before. I have never actually played that game. Little Jen? Little Jen!
Welcome back.
Yeah, we just never got line of sight on it. All right. Another one of those guys, and we should be able to get it. Let's go back to Tangle and do it. Jim the Jin. Now, one day, we will get Jim the Jin in the gym at high school. One day. I tried full randomized setting. It's pretty fun, but not so easy. Oh, yeah. It's definitely not meant to be easy. It was super stressful at times. It sounds fun. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. This one's going to be a Revy. I would be very much so appreciative of it. Bye, Geo. Thank you, friend. All right, now we can be through. Okay. Our goal was to just we're trying to get away from level tier 1 equipment. So we should be able to do that if we successfully complete this map. So let's rock. Let us rock. Often I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is 8:30 p.m. Sunday is at 1. But sometimes we do a random stream, which if there's ever any changes, I usually do them in the Discord. Because I'm not streaming tomorrow or Sunday, I decided to stream today because Fam went out of town and then I'm going out of town. So I was like, well, we'll do an extra stream. Yeah. Yeah, why not? All right, down to Smudge. Down to Smudge. Ninja, welcome in. I can't hear anything. Bone. Do I like no evidence runs? No, I hate it. That's why I have over like 20 of them on YouTube. Jade. Jade, thank you for another gifted, friend. Yeah, Angel, I do. Most deaths from? I think I'm pretty sure Yurei. I'm pretty sure. It's my most common ghost. I'm pretty sure it's my most deaths. I think so. Demonologist? No. Negative. Gaga! Gaga farted on me. What's the tree stick for? So I can smell good. Excuse me, are you a Hantu? I almost made a mistake. I was doing that to show you guys the breath, and I was like, oh, I got stuck on the door. Mistakes were almost made. Here, we'll drop this in there. Pretty sure it's a Hantu. All right, do this in there. Yep, almost did that. Yep, almost made a mistake. Almost made a mistake. Keep it up. I appreciate it. Thanks, friend. Yeah. Ripley, thank you for the biddies. Appreciate you. Thank you for the follows. Appreciate ya. All right, we're gonna bring a flashlight so that way we can see Ghosty. I need a repel, which is fine. I'm gonna take this to put this by the front door so that way it doesn't get us. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Raiju's get you the most. Really? All right. Are we ready? Hey, Jamie. What are my thoughts on Demonologist? I think it had a lot of potential, and I think that they screwed up every possible potential they had. Yeah, Hantu. See the breath? You see the breath when you turn the power off, by the way. There's the whisper. And there's the repel. Cool. Now we can leave. What went wrong? Communication with the developer and them thinking that releasing a new map is what everybody wanted when they needed to fix the game. There's a lot of things that went wrong. Yeah. There was a lot of things that went wrong. Hantu. Hantu. Many things. Many things. The chaos of Lethal Company made you want to play? I like it. There we go. 3,600. Nice. Nice. Yeah, let me see something right now out of just pure curiosity. We're not playing with viewers, Jay. Look at Zach on the front page. Thank you for the follows. Welcome in. New to the game, how'd you find out it was a Hantu? I could tell from the speed. What up, Hattie? Yeah, it was really fast at first, and then it got very slow, and it also didn't speed up with line of sight. So there's only certain ghosts that can't speed up with line of sight. And then we also saw the breath whenever I turned the power off. So basically just a crap ton of different stuff to verify what it was. Just a crap ton of different stuff. All right. How are the ghosties? Ghosties have been good. Crap fan, what's up? Yeah, let's... How long am I playing this? Been a Phasmo main for probably like 3 years. Yeah. How can you memorize all that? You can memorize anything the more you do it. The more you do anything, you memorize it. It's how I used to memorize scripts. You just go over it over and over and over and over and over again, and eventually it just sticks. Yeah. So somebody was asking me about Demonologist. I mean, just real quick, again, they're down to I mean, there's less than 500 people playing the game concurrently. So if you look at the all-time, this is where they are. There's a reason that it's down here. There's a reason for it. Big oofs. Many oofs. They have 197 viewers on Twitch. Yeah. Yeah. Tex, thank you for the biddies. Yeah. Can I show Phasmo stats? Sure. If we look at Phasmo is looking at let's see, currently almost 14,000. Yeah. Yeah. And I get people constantly like coming into TikTok and other places like, what about Demonologist? What about Demonologist? Like, what about it? It's a dying game. It's a dying game. But yeah, you see the updates that are happening. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. A lot of up and downs. Every game's going to have up and downs, for sure. For sure. But yeah, 24-hour peak of 23K. Yep. 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 On Twitch right now, what is it sitting at? 4.6K. Yeah, there's 4.6K right now watching Phasmo. That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad. That is not bad. Who's that guy? I don't know who the hell that is. All right. There's so many new ghost hunting games coming out all the time. I know. And that's I'm excited for that. Jaden, I hate you. I'm excited for that because it's a lot to test, try, and see who's doing what. We don't necessarily have to like everything, and I see no problem in letting someone know, hey, I'm not a big fan of this. I see no problem in that whatsoever. Don't gotta like every game that's out there, man. Don't gotta like it all. Where'd you get the badge from? You have to be an official creator with Phasmophobia. Yep. You have to be a Kinetic partner to get the reporter badge. City-O's coming back from the dead. I think there's a few games that have been having updates that I think would be worth trying again, just to try. But they're definitely not games that I'm like, man, I really want to play it all the time. You know? Like, I think one of those games is like Forewarned. Forewarned is a lot of fun to play, but it's not one that I could play every single day. It is just not one that I could play every day. Dead by Daylight's dying off too? Is it? I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. It's replayable. Yeah, it's all about replayability, man. A lot of bugs right now. Oh yeah, I've seen some of the bugs. Yeah, I've seen some of our friends' clips and stuff. Yeah. Is it worth to buy everything? What do you mean? You mean games, or do you mean in Phasmo? Which do you mean? Yeah. When's the next game? In 72 minutes. Yeah. Do you play that grocery store game anymore? No, I haven't played that in so long. It's been a long time. What's up, Will? How are you? Has a good chunk of players, I'm sure. Still. Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna have a crap ton of DVD players forever. It's just the way it's gonna be, man. The way it's gonna be. All right, let's upgrade this now that we're finally out of tier 1. Finally. I mean, in Phasmo. Yeah, 72 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. How's tonight? It's good. We're hanging out. I don't normally stream on Thursdays, but doing a last stream until Monday. Yeah. A bit subjective over a certain game. Yeah, but surely there's... Oh, of course. Always. Yeah. I know people that love certain games that I don't think you would see like typical... I guess where you see a lot of people running to one game, you'll see like very few people playing a certain game, but I'll see certain people playing the smaller game that play it all the time because it's their game. They love it so much. So much. It's just their jam, man. Everybody has different tastes. That's the best part. I'm a potato. Hello, friend. It's the best part. All right, let's get out of that. Now that we've unlocked our headgear. Yes. Now it's usable. Does prestiging reset your money? It certainly does. It certainly does. Do phantom stock? Yep. I've been saying I'm a potato. You're new here? When do I play with followers? I usually do at the end of the month if we reach a sub goal. I think that might be the sub goal this month. Yeah, on the purple side. Big, long, extended viewer day.
Right. Check the equipment and get set up before investigating.
Did you get a new mic? No. Mm-mm.
There's been no reports of violence or sightings, but
Nope.
please remain careful.
Same microphone. Have not changed. I'm a potato. Larry Myers. Motion sensor, ghost event, and cleanse. This is on Nightmare. Yeah, it's been a nice, chill Nightmare day. Yeah. Yeah. Is it not harder on your own? No, in some aspects it's actually easier. Because think about the things that I don't have to balance. I don't have to share smudge sticks. I don't have to share sanity. I don't have to worry about other footsteps being things other than the ghost. So there is lots of other things that you have to worry about when you're playing with other people. If you're playing with 4 people, all of you have one of these. That's it. That's it. Me by myself? Mine. They're all mine. They're mine. Hey, Caitlin. Apparently I've been sent to some... Are you, friend? Some cozy nightmares. They're my favorite, Hattie. I love them. Music box. I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to just do it. Oh, fuck. I want to find the power first. Let's find the power first. But you only carry 3 items. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a little bit slower when it comes to finding the ghost room and things like that. For sure. Of course. Of course. Do it. Do it. Thank you for the follow, Caitlin. It's upstairs. Play with viewers while cosplaying as Bruce. Listen. Listen. Shade in the furthest room. This is not high school and your name is not Big Mike. Damn it. We don't have the chair. Sad. Was that in front of me? Oh, F your face. So hard. Like, hard as possible. God damn it. Almost. It was pretty damn close. It was right there. Almost all the way in the back. Son of a bitch. Your least favorite map? Grafton? Oh, I love Grafton. Love Grafton. Grafton's a great map. All right, we can check for that there. We can check for that. Gosh darn it. Biscuits and gravy. Hurry up there so we can catch the UV. It might be roaming as well. All right, no of. So this might not even be the room. Did I just see my breath though? Oh yeah, never mind. We're Gucci. It's 3 degrees in here. We might get freezing. Nightmare, yeah. Not a fan of the farmhouses. Can't wait for the devs to rework them. Oh no, I like them. I'm totally fine with them reworking Bleasdale. Yeah, Bleasdale I could give a damn about. I don't care. Bleasdale, whatever, it's fine. Is it fine now? Sure, it's fine now. Them reworking it, also fine. Also, go for it. Rock on. Motion sensor. Motion sensor. Any advice doing the super big maps such as high school or prison? Depends if you're playing solo or with friends. But either way, my recommendation would be to get some parabolic microphones that fly? Yeah, that should work. Get parabolic microphones and then spread out. That would be my advice. Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Where are you? Are you near? Why is that an EMF 3? That doesn't make sense. You didn't throw the door. The fuck? Hello? Where are you? Are you near? I have that happen sometimes. Freezing. I'll get an EMF 3 on the door touch. Maybe I try to pull the door off the hinges. Motherfucker. All right, freezing. That was the ghost walking around upstairs. You son of a bitch. All right, I don't have either of these. We're going to pretend it's not an obake. We're just going to pretend. Okay. Pretend with me. Go on a trip. Merry rocket ship. I don't mind the farmhouse reworks. I just think they should have done. Yeah. Prison I'm fine with, man. High school. What are the candles for? I'm going to do an Onryo test. Let's put them here. Actually, I'm going to put them all here so I can see them. If I do that there, then I can see all the candles go out like that. That's perfect. Perfect. So the reason for the Onryo test at this point is because if I can cross off Onryo knowing it's not it, then a hunt would give that away. A hunt, I can't tell the difference between these two during a hunt. There's nothing that tells them apart. But there are other things that do. So we might as well take advantage of it. Why not? Allison, hello. I'm good. How are you? Hi, Ginger Lady. Let's get this light on, too. We'll go on a bone search. What's our objectives? Motion sensor, incense. So I do have a motion sensor there. Okay. Get that guy, get that guy, get that guy. Oh, I mean, I probably don't need two smut. I got a flashlight in there, though, so we should be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Hi, Living Dead Girl. Hey, how are you? Is Miley's footsteps quieter when hunting, or its voice? Yeah, its footsteps are actually quieter. Mm-hmm. Yep, indeedy. How can you tell a Hantu during a hunt? It's faster in colder temperatures. So if you have the power on, the ghost room is going to be colder and all the other rooms are going to be warmer. So it'll be fast in its room and slower in the other rooms. And you'll hear it change based on the temperature of the room. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Maybe go on a quick bone search. Yeah. Think of the follows, Torgo. Bud. Before we do the things and the stuff. Oh, there it is. I've been playing Phasmophobia for like 3 years. Yeah, you're welcome, of course. And the husband love. Oh, I appreciate you, Allison. Thank you. And then we'll leave this here because we need nothing else other than that right there, basically. So I'm going to take this, and then what we're going to do, we're going to go up here. Yoink. Car! Mr. Carr. 54 months. Holy shite. All right. 3 candle blowouts. If it's an Onryo, it's going to hunt. That's a big number. Holy shite. Mr. Carr. How are you, sir? Oh, I've been hearing everybody talking about the new Twitch mobile app. That's all I've been hearing about. There's one. All I've heard about is how the new Twitch mobile app sucks. Tired? Is it the kiddos? Apocrypha. Hello, what's up, Christina? Hate it. Yeah, I've heard it's not great. Come on, Ghost. Not great. Yeah. Unfortunato. Unfortunate. So for non-real test, can you also use level 3 firelights? Yeah. Yep. 3 fires. Just make sure that you don't have a 4th. That includes your lighter in your hand. So like if I had this lit and those 3 lit, I would cancel out the Onryo ability. Larry Myers. Blow out your birthday candles. He blew out 1 and that was it. Oh, shit. Happy birthday. Wait a minute. Where did it hunt from? Hey, where did you hunt from? It's... You're telling me it was not setting that off? What the fuck? What up, TC? He definitely came from upstairs. I mean, he blew these candles out. He's here. The problem is... All right, now I got him with the smudge. The problem is getting him to walk through that. Fine, whatever. He'll eventually do it. It's fine. Spread out the motion detectors. Well, I mean, I would bring more in. I just have 1 in there right now. I could. That's right. It is a tier 2. I could click on it. Yeah, that's right. You're right. I could. Here. Do I have another smudge? I don't, but it should be fine. Hold on. Wait. I'll take it. Well, let me put it on the door frame, will ya? I'll do it my own way. You stingy bastards. You can do that? I guess. I don't know. I've never tried to put it on the door frame like that before. Yeah. Usually at the end of the month, Prowler. Tier 2 can have 2 lasers. Yeah, if you click on it, it'll be 2 lasers. Yeah. All right. That's an on-reo. Let's get out. Yeah. Too broke to get Death Watcher, so you're going to get the demo? It's not a bad idea. Save up some money so you can buy it. It's not a bad idea at all.
There's some jobs ready for you.
Imagine it still dodges the sensor. I know, and it's the butcher too. Yeah, the door frames where it doesn't let you put it in the door frame, I guess you can catch it on the top or the bottom of the door frame and just do it that way. Yeah, I guess I never really thought to try to get it like that. Yeah. First time watching, welcome in. Nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. Do you know that? See, we all learn something new every day. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? All right. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, I'm thinking this month, I think for the sub goal, I think we will have it be a viewer day. For right now, I literally have it as question marks. But I think if we meet the sub goal, we'll do a long extended viewer day stream where we play a bunch of Phasmo. I think that'll be the idea. Yeah. What's up, Audible? How are you? Where'd you get the badge? You have to be a Kinetic partner. Hey, Panda, how are you? Okay. All right, I know what we're going to do. Friends, I think we're going to call it there for the night. So I can go hang out with Doggo. I just typed your name in chat, didn't I? Thank you, Mayor. This chat, the one from StreamerBot doesn't let me do commands. I had to do it in the other one. So I guess that's a good thing I had it over there. Scuff stream. How dare you? I appreciate you. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah. So tomorrow I leave early in the morning and I'm going to go visit some streamer friends. So I'm super freaking jazzed. I'm going to get to go to Dahlia and Chingus's house. Roxy, shut up. Don't leave me. Jade, thank you for gifting to drop. No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Tubes, I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. We'll be live again on Monday, unless for some godly reason, do an IRL stream, which it would be so scuffed. I just don't think I have the heart to do it. So thank you, friends. But let's go raid. Ticky Tax, thank you, Freds. Let's go raid. I know where we're going, too. Thank you, Audible. Now, you all are amazing. If you guys are not already in my Discord, that's where all my announcements go. They all go there. And then the rest of my socials are there. All the stuff, all the things. Okay. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the love on a random day where I am not supposed to be live. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you being here. We're going to go say hi to a friend. Make sure they check their butthole and raid. That is correct. Make sure you do. Wonderful start to the month. We will be live again on Monday. So since I'll be live again on Monday we will do the weekly. I'll probably have another YouTube video out though tomorrow. So even though I won't be around, I'll still have stuff going out. I don't know about the weekend, but tomorrow I definitely will. So if you are not subbed, there is a raid command for you to copy, or you know what I mean. If you are subbed, there you go. Creepy little tier 3s. Right, Car? That's for you. We're going to go say hi to Mr. Sir Dockerton himself. He is playing Phasmophobia. And Doc is amazing, and we love him, and he's hilarious. At some point, I'm going to try to put together a video of us playing Pilgrim, which will include the crossbow shot. You better believe it. So Thank you guys. I love you all. There will be pictures. I will post them in Discord for sure of us all together. I absolutely will be photos, guaranteed, of the crew together. I appreciate you guys. You're amazing. You better. I will. I promise. There will be photos. You might not be able to see Coach's head. Her head might be down here, like right here. So I'll be like, do one of these guys. But I'll try. We'll see what happens. All right. I love you guys. I will see you in Discord, or I will see you on Monday. Bye, friends.